Have you ever found a deal that seemed too good to be true? Emily did. At a clearance sale in an old New Orleans hotel, she found a magnificent mirror, huge, with a carved golden frame showing the beautiful marks of time. The seller said it came from room 237, a room that had been sealed for years. When Emily asked why, the seller just shrugged it off. For $300, she couldn't say no. An antique like that would cost thousands anywhere else. Emily lived alone in a small Brooklyn apartment. She hung the mirror in her bedroom, right across from her bed. It looked perfect, adding a vintage, stylish touch. But the first night, things got weird. She dreamed she was standing in front of the mirror, but her reflection was acting on its own. It smiled when she was serious and turned its head when she stood perfectly still. She woke up in a cold sweat. She glanced at the mirror, just a normal reflection in the dark room. The next day, she noticed a scratch on the glass, a thin, faint line. That was odd. She was sure it wasn't there when she bought it. A couple of days later, there were more scratches. They started forming a pattern like crooked letters. She looked closer and her heart skipped a beat. Scratched from the inside, as if by fingernails, was a single word: help. Emily's blood ran cold. The scratches were on the inside of the glass. She tried calling the seller, but the number was disconnected. She even went back to the hotel, only to find it abandoned, with a rusty sign saying it had been closed for years. Back home, she decided to take the mirror down. As she grabbed the frame, she heard a faint female whisper that seemed to come from the mirror itself. "Don't leave." She jumped back. Silence. Maybe it was just the pipes or the neighbors. But that night, the whisper returned right by her ear. "Help me, please." She turned her head towards the mirror. In the reflection, she saw herself lying in bed. But the reflection's eyes were wide open, staring right at her. Its lips moved, forming silent words. "Let me out." Emily leaped out of bed and flicked on the light. The reflection was normal again. The next morning, she covered the mirror with a sheet, determined to get rid of it. But when she got home from work, the sheet was on the floor, and there was a new inscription scratched into the glass: Room 237, 1987. Sarah. Emily spent the evening searching online and found an old newspaper article. A young woman named Sarah Connor had been found dead in room 237 of the Bellevue Hotel in 1987. The last entry in her diary read, "The mirror knows the truth." Chilled to the bone, Emily looked at the mirror. The room in the reflection looked different: old wallpaper, old furniture, and in the corner stood a shadowy female figure watching her. Emily spun around. The corner was empty. She looked back at the mirror. The figure was closer now, right behind her reflection. She screamed and ran out of the apartment, spending the night at her friend Jessica's place. Jessica didn't believe her. You're just overworked," she said, laughing it off. "I'll come with you. We'll see there's nothing there." When they got back, Jessica walked straight into the bedroom. "See? Everything's fine." She stepped up to the mirror. "Cool frame, by the way," but Emily saw it. Jessica's reflection was smiling, while the real Jessica looked serious. "Jess, step away from the mirror," Emily warned. But Jessica was mesmerized. Her reflection turned its head and gave Emily an unnaturally wide grin. Then, Jessica reached out and touched the glass. Her hand went straight through it. Something on the other side was pulling her in. Emily rushed forward, grabbing her friend, trying to pull her back. Inside the mirror, she saw pale, thin hands dragging Jessica deeper. With one final, desperate yank, Emily pulled her free. They both collapsed and Jessica sobbed, staring at the deep, finger-shaped bruises on her wrist. Emily looked up at the mirror. A pale woman in an old dress stood on the other side of the glass. It was Sarah. She slowly wrote on the surface, "One of you stays." Emily pushed Jessica out of the apartment and locked the door. That night, she heard scratching and whispers from the bedroom. By morning, it was silent. She cautiously opened the door. The mirror was clean, no scratches, no words. She stepped closer, looked at her reflection, and felt an icy breath on her neck. Behind her in the mirror, Sarah stood, placing her hands on Emily's shoulders. "Thank you for coming," Sarah whispered. "Now I can leave. And you will stay." Emily tried to scream, but no sound came out. Her own reflection just smiled back at her. A few days later, a worried Jessica came to check on Emily. The apartment was empty. The only thing left was the mirror, hanging silently on the wall. As Jessica looked into it, she thought she saw a familiar figure deep inside the glass, scratching desperately from within. That mirror still hangs in that apartment, waiting for its next owner. New tenants always love how stylish it is, at least until they spend their first night.